Angie Ziegler and her boyfriend Kevin Rosado have dated for more than 4 years. They have plans for a future together, a future that includes starting a family. But those plans were put on hold.
April comes around and I found a lump. It was located in my left breast, very close to the nipple. It was hard.
So at Penn State Health Lime Spring office, Angie had a mammogram, an ultrasound, a biopsy, and an MRI. Images that revealed much more than what they were expecting.
You can see the cancer that she felt in the left breast, but look here in the right breast. This is the cancer that we had no idea was there based on the mammography. And then as you scroll further up through this, and you find this other area of cancer right here, also in the left breast. So she had bilateral cancer.
Came home with a book, and we were looking at books and pictures and all this stuff detailing what kind of cancer she has and so on and so forth.
I was very like, okay, let's get it done. Let's be active, let's do it. Just whatever we need to do, let's do it.
We spoke in depth about considering mastectomy as opposed to breast-conserving surgery, but Angie very much wanted to keep her breasts if she could do so safely without compromising her risk of survival.
Angie chose to have a partial mastectomy. A week before the surgery, doctors placed markers on the tumor sites.
In Angie's case, 2 of these were smaller and weren't something that I could feel. So we placed what's called a Savvy Scout. We now have a new radar clip that we can put in, that I have a little device in the operating room that tells me exactly where that clip is. So I put this probe right over the area and I know exactly where the tumor is.
The latest in technology that made a difference in Angie's surgery.
What we're doing in a partial mastectomy is we're taking the cancer and some surrounding tissue. In this case, we're taking additional surrounding tissue, similar to what they do in a breast reduction surgery, cosmetically, to allow us to move the tissue in a way where the patient's breast contour ends up being the most aesthetically pleasing and, in her case, symmetric.
It was Dodge who came down and said, we got all the cancerous tumors, we got the nodes out, we're gonna check them. As far as the eye can see, she's clear for now. And that was a little overwhelming. It's great news. I think me and her mom kind of fell apart there for a minute, but it was all happy tears.
Several weeks after the surgery, Angie and Kevin soon realized their fight wasn't over.
We tested the tumor for oncotype, which is a 21 gene assay that tells us whether this cancer is likely to recur or less likely to recur. It showed that her cancer was actually much more aggressive than what we would have expected just looking at the markers that we had to that point. She had an oncotype of 27, which put her in the range where, in addition to taking the anti-estrogen pill, we've recommended chemotherapy.
But I'll be fine. I'm very positive about it. I have a great support team. Hair, I'm not so worried about. It'll come back. It's that sickness. I don't want to be sick.
Not the news we wanted, but it's the news we got. So we're gonna do the chemo and kick its butt.
Before the treatment started, doctors made sure Angie's dream of a family could come true.
So right now, I'm going through fertility treatments in order to preserve embryos.
Unfortunately, the treatments that we give, both the anti-estrogen and the chemotherapy, can induce early menopause and rob a woman of her opportunity to have children. So what we can do is we can give patients medicines that stimulate hyperovulation and then harvest those eggs and then preserve them, freeze them for the future to allow them to have children. And that's what she had done.
I just want one child, if I'm blessed with more, but just one.
It was important to me to keep Angie's hopes and dreams alive, to eventually have a baby and have our own little family. like you're going to attack me. That's not going to look good on camera.